Hi there, good to be back. And I actually knew when the camera was going to start this time.
Thelma made sure she got her timing right this time.
Yeah.
So welcome to episode 6.
Yes.
And we've got a good topic for this episode, which has many, many, many layers.
True.
So...
like most things we talk about.
Yeah, multiple layers.
Yeah.
So we thought that we would share a little bit about like our perspectives and just kind of like some stories and insights on like the concept of inheritance and inheriting and inherited.
Yes.
Because it's more than what you think.
It is. And I think when we first talk about inheritance, people think of what's passed on after someone dies.
Mm-hmm. That was the first thing that I thought of. Like, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
So, I think that everybody can relate to that, whether it's been a personal experience or a friend. And that's certainly an important thing to talk about. And given that Shannon and I are at kind of different ages, she's maybe inheriting. I'm going to be the inheritor. But, so... enough about that. But
you got a lot of living.
I know. Oh yeah, I do,
Missy.
But it's just that part of my life's perspective now is what my legacy or inheritance will be.
Like, what are you giving?
Yes.
Yes.
To my kids, to my family, to my friends, to the universe. So what?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. You're coming from a different place and have,
Well, I'm thinking, what am I passing down onto my kids?
True.
Like, I'm already, like, I don't want to be passing not good things onto my kids.
Right.
Like, they're going to have their own stuff.
Yes.
And we're not talking about possessions here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, I've seen in my own life how we inherit so many patterns and beliefs and thoughts even and perspectives and all of these. We inherit a lot of intangible things.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, we
do. A lot of invisible things, a lot of intangible things that kind of become our default way of being until we choose that we like that or we don't like that. Mm-hmm. And it just like I always say to people and myself, it's like, well, you can't change what you don't see. Right. And so
I think that awareness of what and I'm just going to toss this one out there. I think that I inherited the word should. I did. And
which leads to regrets.
But also it helped me develop my moral compass, like some of the things that I should do. But also then sometimes what I felt I should do really weren't up to me to do.
Yeah.
And so then when I did them, I was very resentful and angry.
Well, because it's out of obligation.
It's out of obligation. It wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So then I began to see it as a pattern of every time I saw a problem, I thought I should do
I should intervene.
I should do something. And
I should take charge.
Hey, I have 35 years as a nurse. Like that.
I should solve this problem.
I know. And so I realized that I can solve problems very well. But now I choose which ones I'm going to solve and which ones are my responsibility to solve. So that should was an inheritance that I'm grateful for because it helped develop me, but it also gave me an understanding of boundaries and how I act when I don't want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's also like seeing it in yourself is one thing.
Uh-huh.
But seeing the pattern of it from where it came from,
yes,
is another thing.
Yes.
And it's really interesting because like when I talk about like we inherit a lot of intangibles, those are the tricky ones because we don't know what we're getting.
Oh,
we don't know what we're getting. We don't know what we've inherited. It's not like China or utensils or like silverware. It's not like money. It's not like possessions. It's not like whatever physical things that we inherit. It's like we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of other things that we inherit that it sometimes takes us a really long time to realize that what we're doing or how we're thinking is connected to the family tree or to even friends, even people in our circle at some point in our life, not just family.
True.
Right? Or it could be...
Or coworkers. We spend a lot more time with coworkers than we do with our family
Or it
sometimes.
could be the media, the influence of the media. If we spend a lot of time tuning in to a certain point of view, then we tend to inherit that point of view.
Yes.
And it might not be great. And then we're kind of stuck in that point of view, and maybe it's not the best or healthiest point of view to have. So,
well, and I think about...
I actually wish... that this is a wish of mine. I actually wish that we could see earlier on, or maybe that's what my job is, though. Maybe that's what I'm here to do. But I wish that we could see the intangible stuff that we've inherited that may not be that great for us. Like, I wish we could see it, like silverware or like the teapot. Like, I don't... I have trouble with the mysteries of where in the heck things come from and why I'm stuck with them because I don't want them.
Okay.
Yes.
In our last video, I said that when I was a kid, I thought you kind of turned 18 and you were an adult and you were kind of, that's who you were till you died. I think that the process of finding out those intangibles and finding ways to grow with them or discard them is part of what takes you and helps you change and evolve.
learn, grow, and evolve.
So
definitely, I just wish they were easier to see. But they're easy for me to see now because I know how to look for them. Right? Like you just need...
But also, when you don't know something, you don't know it.
That's right.
You don't know.
It's true.
But once you know it, you can't not know it.
That's right. You can't unknow it.
So you're in a very favorable spot because you know that. And I think that probably when I was 30, if I would have met you, I would have said, and I wouldn't have given...
Yeah, but we wouldn't have even been friends.
You weren't even born.
No, but... Well, yeah, I would have been.
What, 5?
No, you're only 20 years older than me. I would have been 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But regardless.
I just think, like, I was in such a state for so long that I don't think we would have even liked each other. No. Because it's our journey of where we are now that brought us together. But I bet you 30 years ago or 20 years ago, we would have met each other and been like, like, I don't think that friendship or that common ground wouldn't have been there.
Or the ability to connect with somebody at a level that goes beyond surface.
Yes,
so,
totally.
Okay.
Because I wasn't into like soul stuff. Yeah. Back then.
Well, and I didn't even go to a chiropractor till I was like 30. Mm-hmm. So I know that I had very rigid thoughts and beliefs. So I don't think human beings are really, or no, I shouldn't say that. I know for myself, I wasn't enough along the spiritual path to have recognized those patterns and been able to
see them in yourself.
See them in myself, acknowledge them, and change them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're too busy living it. We're too busy living the inheritances.
And making mistakes. A lot of mistakes. So those mistakes or experiences.
I was like, I don't like
so those experiences that
maybe they were the grow moments, right? Because my philosophy is either we're in flow where things are going smoothly and feel good, or we're in grow where it's like, oh, that's where people like to say the mistakes are made. But I like to reframe that, because mistakes make you feel like crap about yourself in your life.
True.
But saying like, wow, that was a huge learning moment, or that was a big growth moment for me. It's like, wow, I sure needed to do a lot of growing that decade.
I have quite a few.
Yeah.
I do.
But it helps change how you feel about the hard times.
Because I couldn't know what I know today had I not had those growth moments.
That's right. And you wouldn't have had to learn what you needed to learn to get through the growth moments.
So if you were listening to this and you said, well, what do you do what do you do? How do you figure that out?
So for me, I see something in my life that triggers me, upsets me, irritates me, and I look at it, and I look beyond the surface of it. Right. So for me, it's like my yard has been bothering me. I'll just use my yard as an example. My yard has been bothering me. I'm not happy with how it looks. I wish it was different, blah, blah, blah. But that's the surface thing.
Yeah.
So then I asked myself, well, why is my yard actually bothering me? Like, why is it bothering me? And then a lot of reasons come, like, well, there's deadness everywhere, and it's like unkept. It's like,
that's the worst.
It is the worst. It's like, it looks chaotic to me, and it looks, some stuff looks half dead, some stuff looks overgrown, but from a distance, it all looks okay. Like from the street, it all looks
on the
okay.
Surface it's good, but just do a little digging and it's
like you get up close and it's just like ah. And so that was the truth for me. Is like, I don't want to continue with chaos, things that are half dead, things that are dead, things that need a damn trim. It's like a haircut. Like sometimes we just need a trim, and so do plants. And so it was just that so the truth was that I wasn't looking after my world, so my space. I wasn't looking after my space to the level that I desire to. Okay. And that's what was actually bothering me. And then I think, okay, like, so did I create this or did I inherit it?
Okay.
And okay, like, let's say I inherited a pattern of letting things get away on me. Fair enough, right?
I think that's fairly common.
Yeah. So I inherited a pattern of like too many candles. What's that? Too many candles in the too many flames going. Too many pans in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irons in the fire, and then things get away on you. And I asked myself, okay, well, is this something that I'm okay with, and do I want to continue this inheritance?
Yes.
Or would I like to let that go and say thank you to it, and that's awesome, but it's not working for me now, and do I want to bring something in? And that's what I've chosen. It's like I'm letting go of the chaos and the mismanagement and the not looking after things to the level that I desire for them to be looked after, and I'm bringing in balance, organization, management, like being able to keep on top of everything, and it's the like, it's like the concepts that you bring in, which then changes the action.
Yes.
Because I know I can maintain my yard to the level that I desire for it to be. I know I can. However, right now I'm in overhaul mode because I let it get away because of that pattern that I inherited.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a process, but like, it works. That's the thing.
It does.
You know that. I know that. We're both living proof that doing those steps actually works, and it creates
more harmony.
Yes.
But what I want to talk about too is sometimes we have this notion that it's hard to buck the trend or to question or to say something that our ancestors did wasn't helpful, which is really a difficult, painful process. But
if we choose to see it as that.
Yeah. Okay. Or we just have to give ourselves permission to make our life as good as it can be. So we're going to use that example.
Yeah.
and probably a lot of you have even read this because Shannon and I read it separately. There was a woman who would buy a roast of beef.
And we don't know this woman personally. It's just an urban legend. It's like a fable thing. Like it's.
Let's call her. No, she doesn't need name.
No name. Just in case we know someone with that name.
It'll get out of hand.
That's right.
And we don't want to do that.
That's right.
So she'd get this roast of beef. She'd cut off the ends, put it in the pan, cook it. They would have a lovely, lovely meal. And her husband said, well...
But she did it for years.
All the time.
Every time she cooked a roast, she snipped the ends off.
Yeah. And her husband said, I don't understand. Why do you do that? And she said, well, that's how my mom made a roast. And
I never questioned it.
That's right. My mom was a great cook. My mom made beautiful meals, as did mine. And my mother-in-law knew how to cook a roast of beef. So the husband, fortunately, had a good relationship with his mother-in-law. And one day they're having dinner. And he said, I don't understand why you need to trim the ends of a roast.
Seems kind of wasteful. It just didn't make sense to him.
It didn't make sense to him. And she looked at him and she said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, when my wife, your daughter, makes a roast, she cuts the end off. She said, I did that once because it didn't fit in the pan. And so all this time, the daughter picked that up, assimilated it into her very bones.
She inherited what she thought was a thing.
Yeah. And now they still have roast beef and they get to eat the whole thing.
That's right. Less waste. But it's so
easy.
That,
and even things that kids see. Yes. Kids are so much more of a sponge.
And they're very literal.
Yes.
They take things because they don't have the cognitive reasoning yet. So kids take everything at face value and they take it very literally. And so, let's just say a child grew up hearing one of their parents say, I hate my job.
Yes.
I hate my job. I hate my job. Oh man, I wish I didn't have this job. I'm stuck in my job. But I hate it, but I'm stuck. Well, that child will grow up and become an adult, and the pattern that child will have is that, well, my mom or my dad hated their job, but they had to have that job, and I guess you must have to hate your job.
Yep.
And that person will grow up to find a job that they hate because that's the pattern, and feel stuck in it because that's the literal pattern that they saw growing up.
Yeah.
And it's so easy, and it's so these inheritances, they're so innocent most of the time. It's not that parents sit their kid down and say, okay, sonny boy, this is how it's gonna be, and this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
It's being absorbed through childhood, and it's being absorbed through even our coworkers and our friends and whatever. Over time, it's not that someone's sitting us down and forcing it into us. It's just what we're picking up and what we're seeing and how we're seeing it. So
because also, if you think about the times that our ancestors went through.
Yeah, they had no choice to like their job or not because it was all survival.
But also, we went through wars, we went through terrible, terrible things. So those patterns are also inherited because each generation carried them forward until...
And not having enough, that's a big one.
Not having enough.
Because
fear.
Yeah, because back in pioneer days, people truthfully, really for real, didn't have enough a lot of the time. But then as society progresses and as machines progress and innovations and technology and all of that, so everything externally changes, but sometimes the pattern of the beliefs of how we think about our life and how we see the world, they haven't changed within our minds. And so So I know, there are so many people out there that are so wealthy and they're doing great and they have so much, but they still have the feeling that they don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. And
or that I'm not enough,
or that they're not enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just like really questioning, like, and finding the truth.
Yes.
Right. Like, I love questioning these patterns within myself, because it's like I have been known so many times to say, like, well, I don't have enough of whatever. And then I think about it, I'm like, well, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because when I look at the truth of my reality, I actually have enough. I have plenty. I have more than enough.
You live in absolute abundance.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But yet that mindset from from our ancestors, when they actually didn't have enough, that never updated in my mind.
It didn't update in your mind, but also the rules have changed. The yardstick for what is enough has gone crazy.
Off the
It's
charts.
crazy. Like, I mean, the belief of what we think we need is out of control.
Yeah, like if you even like, I don't want to say this because you are my mom's generation, but even my mom's generation, what you guys grew up with compared to what my kids are growing up with. So literally like two generations later is completely night and day. Like complete night and day. Like basically it was almost like you grew up in the dark ages and two
careful.
Almost. Well, I remember my mom said they
CBC.
didn't have a TV.
We had CBC. Come on.
But
now
really,
you hurt my feelings.
I know. I'm sorry. I threw that in for shits and giggles.
The technological change and
but
the
technology,
consumption.
dark ages.
Yes.
You would agree on that.
Oh, I would agree.
Right? Okay. I'm not saying like the literal dark ages, but the technological dark ages.
Yeah.
You did, because I remember my mom
but
saying
our generation
she didn't even have a
it.
TV
Yeah.
till she was almost out of the house. Like she was almost an adult. And so, like, oh my God, I can't imagine, like, most people have multiple TVs in their house and they've got iPods and iPads, and like I'm no different, but I'm just saying, like, the way the world has changed in 2 generations is just, it's incredible. And
but I do see
it's changing really fast.
But it's also changing back. I see hope, but I think we've got away from
we got to find the balance, right?
Yeah.
Got to find balance.
I think that the idea is that we have the ability to choose and question and discover and dissect things and say, where did this come from?
Yes, that's a huge question.
Yeah.
Like, where did this pattern of my thoughts on this come from? Like, and is it true?
Is it true?
Like,
is it helpful?
Yeah.
And is it helping me? Like, is this making my life better?
Yeah.
So,
or is it making me work myself into the ground and like be miserable thinking I don't have enough, when the truth is like fully abundant.
Right. Or the things that I think I should do.
Really? Or the things that I think I need.
Yes.
Do I actually need them? Do I actually need 3 TVs? Or do I, like, would one be good? You know, like, it's just starting to question what our needs actually are.
But I think, too, the idea of physical comforts and technology is one thing, but the belief or the way we've always done things, or living outside the box, all those patterns are just that. They're just patterns. But it's becoming aware of them and how those patterns actually are dictating what happens to you.
Yeah, and it really dictates the outcomes that we're able to achieve.
So just to go back to the person that didn't like his job, so that it's like he set himself up to think, well, I wanted to be an electrician, but I think I really like that. And this is all subconscious. He was then a plumber, which he knew he would be unhappy at. It's almost like you make choices based on incorrect information.
Yes.
You choose partners based on that incorrect information. You choose where you want to live, how you want to live, what you want to eat.
I was gonna say what you eat. Like what there's what is it? How many choices there's just like when you think of how many choices you could make in a day, every day, and then you think, well, how many of these choices are just automatic repetitions of things I've inherited that I may or may not want and may or may not be what's best for me. It's kind of daunting, really.
Well,
it's like,
and
holy
also,
smokes.
Not choosing is a choice.
Yeah, I got really mad at Elise. I didn't get mad at her. I got mad at that when she said it to me because I was really good at, I'm really good at choosing. I actually love choosing, but I don't like choosing things that I don't know what to choose. And she said to me, even not choosing is a choice. And I was like, I don't like that saying. Yeah. I don't like that because I never thought that before.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Like it's so true.
And not answering is an answer. So it's the same
concept.
So that was a lot.
Yeah, we hammered through a lot there. So let's just take a moment to take a breath.
Okay.
Because I know for me, I know that, and it's so funny, I was just thinking, our topics are just crazy for like bang on for what's going on in our own lives right now without even realizing it.
And we don't really even.
Yeah, it's not pre-planned. We just like, okay, what should we talk about? Okay, hit play or hit record. But even this morning, I was thinking, I wonder what I'm carrying from an extended side of my family. Like I even thought that in the shower this morning. I'm like, I wonder what patterns I've inherited that I'm not sure of or that I don't know for sure. But now that I've asked the question, and sure as shit, it's going to pop up in my life. Yeah. But I asked the question, I wonder what I'm carrying from this like more distant part of my family tree. I wonder what I'm carrying. Why did I ask that question, Thelma? Because now it's going to show up. But it's good because obviously it's time for me to be able to choose if I want to continue to carry it or not, right? Yeah. But I even, so now we're talking about this in our episode right now, and it's just so ironic how I didn't even remember that I thought that this morning. But now that we're talking about it, it's like, shit, yeah, like I actually was wondering that because I desire to live a life that's mine. Like I think that's the best way that I could describe it. Like I desire to live my life that's meant for me and be very free and clear of detrimental. Like it's not about letting go of everything that I've inherited, but I really desire to not be held down and limited and affected in a negative way by inherited things that I don't need to be carrying, if that makes sense.
It does, but there's also the understanding that a lot of lessons that we experience, we can't integrate the learning if we're not at a certain stage of our life. Mm-hmm. So I think
like
some of the...
If we're not aware,
but also even relationship things that, Oh,
Thelma.
Yeah, you can't until like it would.
That'd be a series, not just an episode. That would.
Oh God,
that
would have to be
series.
on like Netflix or something. So, like I'm saying, we're in different life stages. She has children, I have children and grandchildren, and that extra generation has added so much to my understanding of previous generations at the same stage.
Yes.
That I would not have had any concept or any compassion or ability to understand.
When your own kids were that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of where you were at too, right? Just like when my kids were really little, like I was like a runaway train. I was a hot mess on a runaway train. That's what I was. Don't you?
I don't.
But I didn't know that I
So,
was.
like, you really want that out there?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay,
with
you're
that.
okay.
I'm all
okay.
right.
So we don't have to hit.
I wrote a book. I'm pretty blunt in my book that I wrote too, right?
Okay.
So no, it's fine.
Okay.
But I really was. But I didn't know that I was until I knew that I was. And then it didn't hit me all at once.
No.
But as you look back later on, it's like, wow, like I was a hot mess on a runaway train. Hindsight's 2020. And like I think of like who I am now compared to who I was then, and I'm very thankful for the journey that I've been on.
Me too.
Because I'm way happier with who I am as a human on this planet than I was then.
But
I had to choose.
And I hope you're hearing what I said too, is that when you were that hot mess on that train, if someone would have come along with the concept and said, you know, you're a hot mess on a train.
Runaway train.
There would have been fur flying.
Oh yeah, like
so
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have made it out alive.
You weren't ready for that message.
No, I wasn't.
So I think that
we're just here. We're just here to share our experiences and what we've learned along the way, and being able to admit that, like, wow, like who I was isn't who I am now, and I'm thankful for the learning, and I'm thankful for the growth, and I'm thankful that I started to see, like, my vision expanded a little bit, my understandings have expanded, and like my knowledge about life has expanded. And I think that that's like, we're just kind of here to share that with you, no matter where you are on your journey. It's like, hey, like, you might not be a hot mess on a runaway train, you might be, but no matter where you are along your own journey, it's just like being able to share these things that have helped us and the realizations that have helped us so much along our path. You know, just it's like, I just want to get the word out about this stuff.
And what's important for me to talk about is how to recognize those as learning experiences,
yes,
but
not mistakes.
Not mistakes. Thank you. But to have compassion for yourself for when you're in that space where you are having those learning moments and
when you're in grow mode.
Yeah, and in retrospect, a lot of my grow moments have given me very great gifts that I'm very fortunate. It's helped me with compassion and understanding and connecting with people that are also in learning mode.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah.
And I just feel that, like, I always used to ask myself, like, where did this come from? Where did this start? Where did this come from? Like, I know I'm being a certain way or reacting a certain way, but it's not, and I know I'm attracting certain things into my life, and it's like, some of them are great, some of them not. And so if you start to ask yourself, well, where did this come from? And like that, understanding that that we've inherited intangible things, that was so empowering for me. Mm-hmm. So empowering, because it's like, wow, now I know I'm not stuck with it. Now I know that I can change it. I can let that go. I don't have to repeat it. I don't have to keep doing it. It's just a way. It was like I inherited this way of being, but I don't have to be that forever. That was a huge empowering moment in time for me to have those
and I
realizations.
think that's a pivotal moment for so many of us that are aware of something and step out enough to question it and find an answer and
let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
No, I'm not singing. No, I'm not singing.
My daughter told me I was a really crappy singer, but she just, when I was little, I used to sing nursery rhymes all the time, and she told me this morning, she's like, Mom, I really didn't like your singing voice, but I liked the song, so that's why I let you sing to me when I was little. And I was just like, oh, like, the kids cracked me up, right? But I'm like, what do you mean? I have a great singing voice, because I do like to break out in song at
Well, in your
random
car,
points in time.
You can do whatever you want.
I swear in my car, I sound just like the person on the radio.
I do too. I do too.
We're singing in harmony on the radio.
Well,
anyway, this was a big, good
big
topic.
one. I think though I've kind of thought about, like, this is where I'm at. So further ponderings down the road, who knows?
That's
Maybe
right.
I'll figure more out. But
that's right.
Yeah.
So if we were to like, just like, what's that's the word? Like sum it up. If we were to sum it up, for me, I would just say there's a lot more to who we are that is inherited and not chosen initially, that if we don't like that about ourselves or our life or our personality, or we would like it to be different, or we would like it to be at a higher level, we can change that. We're not stuck in that pattern forever.
It's good news.
Yes, it is good news. So how would you sum it up? Is there anything else that you would add to that to just wrap it all up all nice?
Well, I think that, no, I don't think. I feel that asking the question, where's this coming from, or why does this keep happening, is a beginning to a journey that will uncover all sorts of things about yourself, and hopefully you are able to recognize what you do want and keep going with that, and what you don't want, you can let it go, and
that it's actually
be okay with that.
To let it go.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to share a little something. Like, I tune in a lot, like very intuitively, and I actually connect with ancestral energy,
right,
intuitively, and I get a lot of messages, and the messages I always get, and I actually have written articles about this on my little blog that I write,
right,
but the messages I always get from the ancestors or from the people before us is that they don't want us to keep carrying that stuff. Like, they don't want us to suffer. They don't want us to keep thinking or living how they lived, but we're living it in our minds because our reality isn't their reality. And so every time that I've had these experiences with the other side, it's just that, like, they want us to let go of the fear, hate, detrimental, self-sabotage, like all of those limiting, not helpful things. They are basically begging us to let them go. Let them go. The suffering, like, let go of the suffering.
And there's a lot of really bad things happening in the world, but there's a lot of good things, and this movement to
the personal
growth is huge. So would
big.
you be willing to put your blog link on here?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so
definitely
we can do that.
We can do that.
We can do that. Well, maybe you
look
can.
At our technological genius we are.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I think that's I'm done.
That was done. the wrap up of the wrap.
Okay. Thank you so much for checking in, and stay tuned.
That's right. More to come. See you soon.